I am making this video right now as a rally call for MAGA, for President Donald Trump, and most importantly, for America as a whole. Because what I'm seeing right now, President Donald Trump appears to at least be losing his way. He currently is standing for things like H-1B visas.
You can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent.
When we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't.
He's okay with Chinese students pouring into our country to learn at our universities and take our knowledge from us, only to likely use it against us in the near future after they go back home to China.
You've said as many as 600,000 Chinese students could come to the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position when so many American kids want to go to school and there are places not for them and these universities are getting rich off Chinese money?
Sure. Never said about China, but we do have a lot of people coming in from China. We always have. China and other countries. We also have a massive system of colleges and universities. And if we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
Well, I think it's a big deal.
And I also never had an easy time getting past this moment right here, where in my opinion, he made his first major mistake in this presidential term. Choosing to attack his own voter base, MAGA. Choosing to try to gaslight us over something as obvious to all of us as the Epstein files.
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
And maybe you can just say that I never understood who Trump fully was. Call me naive. But for Trump to sit there and tell us that he knows MAGA better than anybody, including ourselves, including us MAGA, that he can just speak for us and just assume that he understands us completely just doesn't make sense to me.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else.
It confuses me because it wasn't always this way. When President Donald Trump first entered the scene, he had the messaging down. And not only did he have the messaging down because he was running as a politician who just figured out that he needed to say what we wanted to hear, but President Donald Trump, make no mistake about it, believes in this messaging. I believe that he believes in this messaging because he's been talking like this for decades now.
My foreign policy will always put the interests of the American people and American security above all else. Has to be first. Has to be. That will be the foundation of every single decision that I will make.
That was back in 2016, and he just didn't seem all that confused about where he stood when it came to America and other foreign countries. President Donald Trump has always been America first. His love for this country has always been evident. Like I said, he's been talking like this for decades. He also has never been confused about H-1B visas.
We believe jobs must be offered to American workers first. Does that make sense? Right now, widespread abuse in our immigration system is allowing American workers of all backgrounds to be replaced by workers brought in from other countries to fill the same job for sometimes less pay. And they should never, ever be used to replace Americans. No one can compete with American workers when they're given a fair and level playing field.
And not only that, but President Donald Trump also had no problems understanding what place China had in this world when it came to America. America, the greatest country in the world, by far the most benevolent, by far the most powerful, by far the one with the biggest potential. China's not our equal. China's not above us. President Trump has always known where to place China. He may be talking about allowing an influx of Chinese students to attend our universities now, but deep down, President Donald Trump has always had this stance on China.
And somebody said, well, what would you do? What can you do? So easy. I'd drop a 25% tax on China. And I said to somebody that it's really the messenger. The messenger is important. I could have one man say, we're going to tax you 25%. And I could say another, listen, you motherfuckers, we're going to tax you 25%.
Now that is the President Donald Trump that won me over as an even younger man. When I saw him, I remember thinking to myself, finally, someone who isn't a politician. Finally, someone who gets it. Finally, someone who understands my plight as a young American. Finally, someone who's actually proud of this country. And speeches like this cemented that opinion in my mind all those years ago.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo as long as we are led by politicians who will not put America first. Then we can be assured that other nations will not treat America with respect, the respect that we deserve. The American people will come first once again.
Yeah, that's the kind of speech I rallied behind back then. That's the kind of speech that turned me into a supporter. That's the kind of speech that has made me proud to have voted for him. Finally, a politician who says the words America first, despite the fact that the corrupt, disgusting, and utterly lame mainstream media tried to make fun of him for putting America first and for saying those two words, America first. America first. America first must be our credo. And President Donald Trump recognized that. He ran his entire first campaign off of that, and he won.
We assembled here today are issuing a new decree to be heard in every city, in every foreign capital, and in every hall of power. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first. Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs will be made to benefit American workers and American families.
And it wasn't just all talk. President Donald Trump would mention this on the campaign trail. That was his inauguration speech I just showed you, where he proudly and openly doubled down on the America First agenda. And then, after being sworn in as president, he would march to the United Nations on behalf of us Americans and triple down on the America First agenda, proudly informing all world leaders attending that America was going to come first from now on. And I had never been more proud as an American up until that point. Finally, a leader who represented me, us Americans.
As President of the United States, I will always put America first. Just like you, as the leaders of your countries, will always and should always put your countries first. All responsible leaders have an obligation to serve their own citizens, and the nation-state remains the best vehicle for elevating the human condition.
Unfortunately, as decent of a first term as President Donald Trump had, and as decent of an economy as I remember it being, as a young adult living out on my own, it just wasn't meant to be for President Donald Trump to serve 2 consecutive terms. And the 2020 elections came, they're marred in controversy and turmoil, and Joe Biden's presidency will forever go down as one of the worst in modern U.S. history, if not all of U.S. history collectively. We saw record high inflation, and we saw what I, in my opinion, would call an America Last agenda, with open borders and disastrous policies, both foreign and domestic. Inflation soared to 9.1%, consumer prices shot up, and the cost of living skyrocketed as well, utterly shattering the affordability for everyday Americans. It was a disaster. And when America was finally hitting its lowest point under Joe Biden, our champion, our prized fighter, reemerged to rise up like a phoenix and announce that he was returning to save our great nation once again.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
When this announcement was made, I remember immediately saying a prayer to God to get this man back in office to save our nation. And I didn't know what to expect for the future of America. A part of me had the very younger generation style of doom or take where it was just over in my mind. But the other part of me, after a speech like that, developed hope once more. And I prayed profusely, day in and day out, that President Donald Trump would be re-elected by the American people so that America could be saved. I was praying daily for God's extended mercy on this nation. And the pathway to victory for President Donald Trump certainly wasn't easy. In fact, it was one of the most startling at times campaigns I've ever seen. I have never witnessed an assassination attempt in my young adult life, up until Butler, Pennsylvania. A moment for me that solidified my unwavering support for President Donald Trump.
Take a look what happened.
I got you, sir. I got you. Let me get my shoes. Hold up in your head. So we gotta move to the front. Watch out. Wait.
This moment inspired me in ways that I had never been inspired before in my entire life, watching it all unfold, because in this raw moment, you cannot fake this kind of an attitude. That is a raw, genuine, and powerful expression of faith in the American people, knowing that he had just survived and knowing that he was going to continue to fight for us. This didn't weaken him. This didn't encourage him to drop out. This strengthened his resolve. And in turn, it strengthened the resolve of the American voters, specifically his MAGA voter base. We unified after this moment like never before. We rallied behind President Donald Trump, and President Donald Trump was humbled by this moment, but in all of the best ways.
I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. Yeah. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God.
President Donald Trump took to that stage openly recognizing the miracle that had been worked in his favor. It strengthened his resolve as he came to realize that God had a plan not only for him still, but for America in general. And that, quite honestly, is a plan I still believe in to this very day. As a result, voters turned out in record numbers, and we absolutely voted President Donald Trump in as the 47th president of the United States on a complete and total mandate, shattering the Electoral College, shattering the popular vote, all 7 swing states, and every single state in America shifted more to the right, including states like California, New York, Vermont. Any liberal state you can imagine became more conservative last November, all in support of President Donald Trump.
ABC News can project that the former President Donald Trump will be the 47th president of the United States. That takes him to 276 electoral votes, not since Grover Cleveland has someone served non-consecutive presidential terms. It's now become a reality. Again, the breaking news at 5:31 here in the East. Former President Donald Trump, ABC News now projecting, will be the next president of the United States.
And when President Donald Trump was sworn in after his election victory this past January, he got to work on behalf of the American people immediately. And for 2 months in a row, it was glorious. He was fulfilling campaign promises, delivering on what he said he would, and he was making America great again. He worked so fast, in fact, that he held a State of the Union address just a couple of weeks into his presidency, which is just unheard of. His pacing was incredible. The man never seemed to sleep. He was working day and night for us, and he delivered a speech like this that I remember gave me goosebumps and made me stand up out of my chair at home and clap. I was chanting USA in my living room.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
And this speech right here is why I'm actually making this video, because this took place just 8 months ago. And President Donald Trump since then has made a series of unfortunate decisions, saying some unfortunate things, and quite honestly, MAGA is divided and undergoing a civil war, and there's a multitude of reasons for that. It's not just Trump alone. There's a generational split we're witnessing, and I've made a couple of videos on that now that you should absolutely check out. But the bottom line is, you hear a lot of criticism about President Donald Trump recently, from myself included. But President Donald Trump hasn't actually changed as a person. His values, even just 8 months ago, were clearly stated in this State of the Union address speech right here.
Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
That is America right there. Summarized in just a few minutes of that speech. He understands what America is, and he understands what Americans are. He hasn't lost sight of that. Again, that was 8 months ago. He hasn't changed. He's not losing his mind. This is not copium on my behalf. That is still the same man 8 months later. It's been the same man for decades. He's always talked about America and Americans like that. That is not a man who's confused about H-1B visas, Chinese students. He's not confused about what MAGA is. He's not confused about any of it. And while there is this generational divide currently happening right now in America, as millennials are finally old enough to start taking power, as Gen Z is coming up as well right behind us, together, Gen Z and millennials have formed this alliance because it's necessary. And it should always be this way. We should always be helping each other anyway. But it's also necessary. The cost of living is still too high. There's still a lot of issues with affordability, and America is not currently being put first. Not because President Trump doesn't believe in putting America first, but because we've seen this pattern now played out time and again when it comes to our elected officials. I don't know the full story of what goes on behind the scenes. I'm not the president. But I have my guesses, and I also have my anecdotal eyes that see what's happening. It's a pattern. There is a globalist agenda that is powerful and influential, and for some reason, somehow, it always seems to pull President Donald Trump away slowly over time, like a frog in boiling water, from the American people and the America First agenda. And so this video is the rally cry for President Donald Trump to get back on that agenda. Put Americans first, the way you talk about the prior golden age of America, the older generations. I am here to tell you that it hasn't changed. Americans are still very much just as capable now as they were back then. And if you're an old boomer laughing at that, I've got news for you. It's the truth. We've always been capable. Gen Z, millennials, we're done being ashamed of this country. We're done being down on ourselves. We want the best, we expect the best, because we know we live in the best nation in the entire world. We just need people to believe in us. We need our elected officials and our politicians to believe in us and believe in this country once again. So, Mr. President, I doubt you'll ever see this video, but I'll say it anyway. Get your eye back on the prize. Refocus on what really matters. It's not Ukraine and Russia. It's not Israel and Palestine. It's not Thailand and Cambodia. It's not even the narco-terrorists south of the border. I appreciate those efforts, truly I do. But a lot is riding on this presidency right now. Not just for the sake of the midterms, but for the sake of the entire country in 2028. The success of President Donald Trump is mandatory for the future of this nation. That is why he continues to have my prayers daily and nightly, multiple times a day. Though I am critical of him, especially in my last few videos, for all of the stated reasons before, I will continually pray for and support this president. I still believe, deep down, he is America first. And I pray that those who are globalists and those who are serving behind the scenes to pull him away from the America First agenda are dealt with appropriately. My call to action for this entire video is for President Trump to get back to this messaging right here.
My pledge reads, I'm with you, the American people. I am your voice. So to every parent who dreams for their child and every child who dreams for their future, I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. To all Americans tonight, in all of our cities and in all of our towns, I make this promise. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America